time in Sky Fox. What's your take on this, Rick?
Well, it's erratic driving. You could see very high speeds here, Marla. Dangerous driving here through the intersections. You just saw that as that LA County helicopter passed over. So they are tracking this from the air and on the ground. And this area of Alhambra, the lead law enforcement agency is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. But do we know, Marla, yet where this pursuit actually began?
Well, there are reports that this was first reported out of Carson. We have not confirmed that. Tight turn here. And we're seeing from overhead the sunroof look like I don't know if there was a passenger in there or not. It's hard to get a good look at this, but that's one of the unknowns, right? How many people are involved, if these people are armed. So to answer your question, Rick, as we zoom in, it looks like just the driver there, perhaps shirtless even. Shirtless, in fact.
Yes, I can see that.
It may have originated in Carson.
And that area, too, as well. That's the 10 freeway there in Alhambra. And that area, the lead agency is the LA County Sheriff's Department. They are the law enforcement agents there. So this is an LA County Sheriff's Department pursuit, but likely the CHP has picked up on it. And again, with any pursuit, whatever jurisdiction it enters, those agencies will join in. And this is a really dangerous situation. Look at the speeds of this vehicle here. Sort of an older sports sedan, it appears there. And you saw that there is a sunroof here. And unclear what these law enforcement individuals are dealing with. And that's one of the factors, Marla, that they always take into consideration. Is this individual armed? Does he or she have, and it appears it was a male suspect in there, multiple wants? And you could see the suspect is essentially making circles in this neighborhood. We mentioned it, I'll mention it again. Possibly he has some ties to this Alhambra neighborhood.
Here in the Alhambra area, now turning back to the east as we come around. LA County Sheriff's is overhead of this pursuit with 2 helicopters, calling it for CHP and letting them know exactly where this guy is at. So as we continue on here, you can see through the residential track here, very high rates of speed now, clocking at about 57 miles per hour. And we can put up Skyview 5 right now. Here comes Skyview 5 to show you where we're at. And you can see the speed of this driver as we continue on Glendon Way here. So it's still going pretty good. He's not stopping for any stop signs, red lights, or anything of that sort. So, it's really dangerous when you get into these residential tracks like this. But CHP is right behind him, trying to make that turn there as he bounces through that intersection, and working here just to the north of the 10 freeway, actually, is where we're at. Just went past the 10. So he's kind of working through these speed bumps here as you go through those intersections, coming up to a stop sign. A big right turn here. It's going to take him back down towards the 10 freeway. So right now, you can see the stop sign right here, right through that, and then back over the top of the 10 freeway as we work our way along here. So right now, we know it's just one driver in there. We haven't seen any of the occupants of the vehicle through the sunroof as we first came on scene here, looking down to see what was going on. But we're hearing from the LA County Sheriff's, it is a reckless drunk driver is what the want is right now. And, he is proving all of that as he continues on. Now, here we are back on Hellman, which is on the south side of the 10 freeway. Cut through here, you can see the speed running just about 60 miles an hour. CHP still behind him with just 2 units. The local area officers are staying out of the area. We've seen a couple of them in the area, but they're staying out of the pursuit, but just kind of monitoring the area. So when this person gets on foot, they'll be immediately in the area to be able to go into a foot pursuit. So as you see right through that intersection there, as we look in pretty tight, you can see don't see much of anybody else in the vehicle, just that one driver. Looks like a male to me. He's coming up. It looks like he'll take the wrong side of the street here on Hellman as he works his way along. Wrong side of the street, no oncoming traffic, which is great through that intersection. Now picking up speed up to 75 to 80 miles an hour. So it's could be very bad if he gets into one of these intersections here with people are not stopping because they're on the green and he's on the red. Could be an issue. Now turning southbound here on Del Mar Avenue. So Del Mar, now the units are just holding back. They're not really pushing him too hard because they got the air unit overhead. There's really no reason for them to push hard to get this guy moving and put themselves in harm's way trying to stay behind this car. The air unit has pretty good eyes on it, along with a second helicopter overhead just to make sure he can be there in case anybody else happens to pop out of this car. Now we're turning here. You see, kind of a head fake there, crossing over Garvey here south on Del Mar. But then again, the CHP, like I said, they're just going to hold back, let the air unit handle the pursuit, and let this guy run. They were trying to go into surveillance mode to try to keep him, to slow down a little bit because his speeds are super fast, and they wanted him to slow down a little bit. It worked a little bit, but then all of a sudden he got on the freeway and really put the pedal to the metal, and now CHP got up here and took over. Now we're continuing here on Del Mar, coming downhill, be coming up to a major intersection here. The wrong side of the street, right around that car, using that center divider with opposing traffic. So, this could end very badly if he continues his driving in such a manner. No, we don't have that information, Glenn. I don't want the Temple Sheriff's hat on it when they pulled him over, whether they had him stopped or not. But that's what they relayed to the CHP when they want to come in and take over this pursuit, that it was a reckless DUI. So I don't know what the officer's observation was. Oh, here it comes, intersection. Through here, just threading through around that red car. It's just really something else when this guy gets to these intersections here. As we continue on here, now turning south on Paramount. And so right now, just using all lanes to get through. But, yeah, as far as what happened with the initial contact with this guy, whether it was a stop and they were talking to him and he jumped back in the car, or he just flat took off. I mean, who knows? Right now, we'll have to check with Temple Sheriff's. But we're coming up on the cross traffic here at this intersection. So it looks like it'll make a turn to the west, and this is going to take him down. We're going to parallel the 60 freeway here on Neil Armstrong as we work our way through here. So it's a kind of winding around the area here. This comes down to a dead end that's going to put him into a industrial track, but it looks like he'll be able to get through once he gets down to the very end here. It'll get back out over to, I believe it was Garvey or Atlantic. We'll see what he does. But this is parallel in the 60 freeway on the north side. So right now it's anybody's guess where he's going to end up. But we're in the Montebello area, as you see, working our way along. The 60 freeway coming up there, you step on the brakes there. CHP are way behind him. They're a couple streets behind him. They just popped right back into the scene. Looked down there for a second. They were back, and then they got around traffic. So now we're coming up to that area where it's like a driveway I was speaking about. Kind of blocked him off, and now there you go around the corner. And they go through this parking lot of this, looks like a Costco. And as he worked their way around here, this is where CHP might get a chance to do a pit into the parking lot, the Costco, as you continue around to see what he does when he gets in here. A lot of people on foot, as you well know, in Costco. A lot of people sharking for parking spots and none available. So we'll see how he navigates his way through this parking lot. But now coming back out towards the gas station, working back down towards a Home Depot. And you see that CHP officer, he kind of got up there. Looked like he was going to try to take him around, but there's just too many people, too much traffic in this parking lot to spin him around. But if they do it, they're going to be very careful with how they handle this. But there he goes. Yep, he tried it right there. But problem is, you got cars around him, and that's one of the things a officer has to watch out for when he does a pit maneuver. He has to make sure that he doesn't send that car out of control into a motorist here. So right now, here's a good spot as he gets out back onto Neil Armstrong, going back the opposite direction, back eastbound here. He might get a chance to take him here. So he looks like he really wants to do it. We have not heard if they said that it authorized the pit maneuver, but CHP is usually pretty aggressive with that and will get it whenever they get a chance. So this guy's just going to push along. He's going to take him back down towards the 60 freeway. You see he's kind of on the brakes here, kind of going slow because he's trapped up forward. And because there's too many cars ahead of him, he just didn't want to get stuck in behind some stuck traffic. So kind of working his way through here. So right now we're just going to keep an eye on him as we continue on eastbound Neil Armstrong back towards Del Mar. Drop map. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we don't know what his impairment is. Is it alcohol, drugs? Is it, was he just driving crazy? What was he doing that caused the LA County Sheriffs to look in, going the wrong side of the street here through, I believe that's Del Mar, Paramount Boulevard he just went through. It looks like, he's going to get back on the freeway here. I'll see which way he goes. It looks like we're going to take the eastbound freeway. But right now, is it west? Okay, going back west on the 60 as we come around. Now I turn around on westbound 60 freeway from Paramount. You don't know what the impairment is. I mean, it like I said, it could be mental, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be anything. Or, you never know what these people are up to. And this guy here, the way he's driving, he is not keeping very good control of the car as he gets into any type of turns with speed. So that could show the impairment. And right now, CHP is going to keep behind him and try to figure out a way to get him stopped and get him pulled over in the safest manner, because the last thing they want is a crash at the end of this pursuit. So I'm watching that CHP officer get up really close a couple times there. Yeah, he's definitely trying to get this guy spun out and pitted so he can get it to an end. But now we're going to be traveling on the westbound 60, and we're around 70 miles an hour. So with the flow of traffic, CHP is going to track him with their helicopter overhead, who's taken over for the LA County Sheriffs, and now it's solely a CHP pursuit. And what they do here is they now go into their round robin. What CHP will do is they'll hand this off to different offices of the CHP. Now we're getting off the freeway here. Let's see what he does. He gets to the bottom, going over the top. Garfield, he went over the top of, is going to make a kind of a turn around to the right as he comes off the off-ramp. We'll see what he does here. Oh, he continued on. Sorry, I thought he jumped on that little ramp there, but he kind of paralleled the freeway, as we see here. We're just off the side of the freeway here. I thought sure he was going to make that right turn all the way around, but he got over the side of the freeway and making his turn back here to the south, going to come back underneath the freeway. And as we come down here, you see a lot of cross traffic as he pops off from underneath the freeway. Everybody's stopping because they hear the sirens, and now we're going to come back to the east here on Via Campo, which is going to parallel the freeway here right along the 60 on the south side of it as we work our way along. So he's kind of hanging in the same area here. I know we always talk about once they start making these circles and work their ways around the same area that people are looking to find a place to jump out and run. Sometimes that's accurate. We'll have people that will get into a friendly neighborhood and they'll have a place to hide, and they'll bail out and jump into a friendly house or something of that sort. But right now, we don't know exactly what's in this guy's mind. We never do, and that's why they have to follow him, because they have no idea where he's going or what he's going to do. Now we're getting back on the eastbound 60 freeway here, continuing on from, I believe that was Paramount or Garfield. And so as you see, when he hits the freeway, he picks up speed going along. But luckily, we've only had a few near misses, I mean, to where he's gotten very close to other drivers. And the problem is that could change in a heartbeat as he goes through an intersection. So I get kind of relieved once I see him get up on the freeway, because that takes away some of the cross traffic, some of the issues with pedestrians, or most of the issues with pedestrians. So we just want to make sure that he doesn't hurt anybody in these pursuits, as what the CHP's goal is in these pursuits safely and conduct them safely. And that's one of the reasons why the LA County Sheriff's bailed off it when it was on surface streets running at such a high rate of speed. But you can see right down through the window there, that driver just cruising along like it's a Sunday afternoon cruise here on the westbound or eastbound 60 freeway and through the Montebello area, coming up on Paramount, as you can see from Skyview 5. So once again, the pursuit is going to get back up on the freeway, and we'll continue to the east here. We'll see where we end up a little further to the east. Yeah, he's been staying pretty close to it. CHP, they very rarely will go into a surveillance mode. It's really got to be crazy on surface streets before they will bail out on it, because they can stay with it a little bit easier, and they have a different pursuit policy than what the LA County Sheriff's has. The LA County Sheriff's is real quick to cancel pursuits But CHP, once they're on, they normally don't give up unless it gets completely wild. And that's what you're seeing here. And yes, surveillance mode is what they get into when they decide just to let the helicopter follow it and let the ground units drop back a bit to where they are not pushing the driver along. And so right now it's an active pursuit, but they do have that available if they desire it, or if the watch commander who's monitoring the pursuit decides that it's getting a little too crazy, a little too dangerous, they will then let the air unit follow it. But, you know, in my past experiences with pursuits, the surveillance mode doesn't always work. In fact, I've very rarely seen it work to where they just slow down and pull over and stop. I mean, normally they took off for a reason, and even though the helicopters, we hold back and try to stay out of his view to where he doesn't know we're here, they still will just continue driving like heck, you know, going down these freeways and down the surface streets, even though they're not being chased. I mean, I had one day, we chased him for 45 minutes at a very high altitude, not a helicopter, a police helicopter, or a police car around, and the guy never stopped. He just go on wrong side of the streets, you know, running people off the road. So finally, the local PD came back and got involved and be able to get back involved and stop it. Now we're getting off the 60 freeway here at Rosemead. We'll see which way he goes when he comes around. It's kind of a big sweeper here. It looks like he's going to commit here unless he makes a left. And could make left. TV5 right here for. As he comes up the intersection here at Rosemead, to see if he's going to take south or north. He's kind of stopping at this thing. He's going to push through the red light and going to continue north on Rosemead here. So this will take us up, and we're now into the El Monte area, working our way back northbound Rosemead as we continue following back over the 60. And I wouldn't doubt for a minute he's past the freeway. So as we continue on here northbound on Rosemead at just about 77 miles an hour.
Really ramping up this pursuit. Again, a stolen vehicle suspect. It appears there's just one suspect inside that vehicle, a male in the driver's seat there. And this has been going on for some time, having started in Carson. And there we go. We're looking at speeds over 80 miles an hour again.
Yeah, it's interesting. On the freeway, when there's more of an open road and more opportunity to go faster, the suspect doesn't drive all that fast. And here we are on surface streets, and we've seen up to 90 miles per hour plus. And on the shoulder now, this is interesting. Obviously backed up at must be an intersection. It's hard to see. Driving on the shoulder, making his way past this traffic. Go ahead, Rick.
Wow, yeah. And Rosemead is a major north-south thoroughfare there that takes you from the San Gabriel Valley south all the way into Lakewood and points south of that location. But a lot of traffic there, as you just mentioned, Marla. But then look at that. Just starts ripping down the road again. It looks like he does have a face covering on, right? That's what I'm seeing when we got a little close-up there, the suspect here. And he's manipulating the car and the traffic pretty well, and we have yet to see any nicks of any other vehicles, which is fortunate. But with every second, every minute, the chances increase for that to occur, and the CHP is aware of that. Other law enforcement agencies are involved as well. Once you enter another city, those units can start getting involved as well. Slowing down at this intersection, fortunately, you can see crossing over that crosswalk there and trying to manipulate his way around traffic there against red lights at times, but doing so gingerly.
Yeah, so here we are, Rosemead Boulevard, Rick, and El Monte. We are hearing that CHP may be backing off and going into tracking mode. We just did see a cruiser, though, on his tail just through that last intersection. So we'll see if they, in fact, do back off and only track this from the air. And you're seeing not necessarily that.
And now we're coming up to the 10 freeway, and as you were saying, Lou, yeah, those speeds, you watch him when he gets through these little curves, kind of wobbles as he goes around those curves, so that kind of gives you an idea how well he's not handling this car, and the impairment might be part of that, but he looks like he passed the eastbound on-ramp for the 10 freeway. Now we're going underneath the 10 as we work our way northbound here on Rosemead. Yeah, it's this guy is really pushing his luck here through some of these intersections, coming up on a area here that's blocked by trees from our side. But as we work our way through this intersection, yeah, it just CHP has got to get this thing stopped eventually. And hopefully they'll be able to work with their allied agency up here in El Monte to be able to get a spike strip down. But normally interesting thing with CHP is once they take over a pursuit, they don't want the local area to get involved. They want it to be a pure CHP pursuit, and they will back off and get out if the agency gets involved. They don't like to combine forces because of the difference in policies and procedures on pursuits. But they have before asked units to, if they can get the local area to put out a spike strip. But we haven't heard that at all at this thing here. Now he's making the eastbound turn here on Guess Street and coming to a stop, it looks like, I hope. We'll see what happens here as he starts here. He's kind of slow, kind of looking around.
And he's back into an area. He was here just about 15 minutes ago, the same general vicinity. So this could be a situation where he's trying to connect with or get into an area that he's familiar with. He may have friends or family in that area. But now he's just making his way in and out of this Rosemead neighborhood here, north of the 10 freeway, off of Rosemead Boulevard. Again, this pursuit, having started in Carson, has likely covered quite a bit of real estate on the 110 and the 710 freeways, on the 10 at times, the 60 freeway, Rosemead Boulevard, and now essentially through this Rosemead neighborhood here.
Ooh, that was a close call with a pedestrian.
That was close,
yeah.
yes.
Just trying to cross the street there. Yes, narrowly missed him. Here we are going over those double lines. It makes me hold my breath. You never know what's going to happen. So here we are, Mission Drive.
Oh, yeah, it's too... It is. This is really getting out. As a lot of these pursuits do. This driver is erratic. He's dangerous. Even though he may not be armed, but they have to assume he is armed. Any individual who chooses to run from the police is a dangerous suspect and is endangering the public. He's not pulling over, and you can see right up against that vehicle there, crossing over. This is a narrow. One-way each side street here in Rosemead, and he's getting more aggressive, more dangerous. And if we widen out just a little bit, we'll see if they have backed off, as you mentioned, Marla, because this is a situation where they just might do that because of the way this man's driving.
All right, now officially in territory of Temple City, Encinita Avenue, and last cross street is La Rosa Drive in Temple City. Speeds on these surface streets, you just saw him go through a school zone. I know that school's not in session, but nonetheless, those tight, narrow streets, residential streets. And making a right-hand turn on Pentland Street at this point. Speeds now in the 50s. Rick, we've seen him hit up to nearing 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's and he's staying in this area, Temple City. If you know this area, essentially sandwiched between the 210 on the south and the 10 on the north of the San Gabriel Valley. Temple City, Rosemead, El Monte. This is the area that he's sort of gravitated to and has come back to.
Yeah, so if you're just joining our coverage, this pursuit was picked up just over 30 minutes ago, first by LASD, then taken over by CHP. The want here is a stolen vehicle. This is a four-door Lexus sedan, reportedly stolen out of Carson. We're working to confirm that. Now the pursuit suspect has made his way through into Temple City, Cloverly Avenue. Our Extreme Nav helping out our coverage this afternoon, being able to identify his speeds and also precise locations.
But doing loops. I mean, you're seeing him doing a lot of left and right turns, right? Marla's staying in the same general area. And again, he may not know this area at all. Or he may, and that's why he's staying in this area. And we are seeing him slow down at times, and it looks like gesturing outside his window, waving his hands up, as you mentioned, through the sunroof and through his driver's side window there. At times, barely slowing down through intersections. Other times, he'll stop like he is now. And waiting for that traffic and trying to cross that area very gingerly, and he made it across that intersection from Lower Azusa Road, which is a very busy stretch of roadway there on Cloverly Avenue here. Lefts, rights, staying in this neighborhood. Again, a stolen vehicle suspect, another pedestrian there on the street. Close call.
So we're in a surveillance mode, and so coming up on, let's see, Temple City Boulevard, pushing out there. Oh, man, right around that car and almost got that black truck. And so here we go now here on Temple City Boulevard. And so as we continue around and coming in here, 5's going to shoot right between you guys and pull in behind you. As I work on with the other media ships down here, flying over this with the CHP, working our way now here on Temple City Boulevard. Abilene is where he went through as we work southbound back towards that 10 freeway. We're in El Monte, just to the east or west of the El Monte airport. As he takes the wrong side of the street there, going through that intersection, now back onto Valley Boulevard. We've been on this street several times. Continue on here eastbound on Valley Boulevard. We've been on Valley Boulevard a couple times during this pursuit, and so he seems to be weaving in. Oh man, that was a quick turn. Quick turn there to the left as he comes back northbound on Roland. And as we work our way through here, he's kind of slowing down. CHP units are not even close to him. They're not even on the street. They're staying out on the majors and just kind of working his way along. So hopefully he just pulls over, and we'll just have to see what happens here as we continue up here, coming up to, I think this is Santa, no, it's not Santa Anita, Baldwin Avenue. Now turning here south on Baldwin Avenue. And yeah, we've been on, whereas we were back on Valley here. Wow, that was a turn. Blew through the red light, made a quick right to the left to get around traffic, and then back on Valley. Yeah, we stayed pretty much on Valley and then worked back and forth. And this is the furthest east we've gone so far here in El Monte as he works on Valley. And once again, they're in surveillance mode now with CHP. Let it go because it was going a little bit too much. But here he goes, another turn here into a residential tract. And we're just going to keep an eye on him as he comes through here. And hopefully he'll find friendly ground, get out, and run into a house and end this thing before he hits somebody. But coming up to the intersection here on Rose Avenue, making the turn here on Velma. And then, so just kind of weave in the area here in the El Monte area. You know, he does those little turns at the streets. That's just to get through the speed bumps that are there where the drainage goes across, and he's working his way down, coming back to the north. And so he's kind of working around those bumps as he goes through there. His speeds are pretty high at times, up to 50 miles an hour now. Gonna hit the train tracks there. 5's gotcha. And as we work our way now north on Arden, and this will take us back up into the area west of the El Monte Airport here. So it's just a run by himself. Only the CHP helicopter is overhead, and now he's on the brakes, making a turn. Looks like into an abandoned parking lot here, right off of Arden, in the area of looks like Marsden Street. So this is an abandoned parking lot. Abandoned building. Now he's going to come back out, make a U-turn here. Yeah, so hopefully he gets out and runs. That's what I'm hoping for. Well, he's not going to do that. And there's no CHP units anywhere around it to block him in. If that's what viewers are thinking at this point, they're not going to be able to stop him. There's one unit now coming up, probably about a quarter mile away, and here he comes back out onto, let's see, Arden. Yeah, that's random. Unless he just missed that turn. Now this is a dead end. He just put himself in a trap. He's not going to be able to get out of here. The CHP unit that's coming up looks like he might be able to block that intersection. He's going to the back of this little business area. Now, this is a problem here. Now you have people who have no idea what's going on. This guy's pulling into their driveways, coming to the back. Now he makes that turn. There's nowhere to go. That's a dead end. So he's going to catch a parking spot here. Oh, did he? No, he didn't hit that car. And hits a parking spot. Maybe going to do a quick wide turn. And the CHP unit's in the parking lot now. And we'll see what happens here, because they're going to go head on here. And it's up. Now CHP being told by his unit to hold back. And he's staying out of the way. Now you look like he's kind of maneuvering here. And so now it's a matter of time for the rest of those CHP units to arrive. And they're able to take this. Now the suspect is parking underneath the overhang there. I think he's probably thinking, well, if I get under here, they'll stop chasing me because they can't see me. Well, that's farther from the truth you could be. And then right now, here comes the CHP unit, going to pull in right in front of him. And there he is, out of the car. CHP unit is out in front of him. Let's see what happens here. Hands up. He's walking out towards the south and up to the north, which will probably be my luck. But we'll get down. Okay, looks like he's laid down and complying. So great ending to this pursuit that could have ended much, much worse. But single CHP officer here. If you notice on the top of that unit, K9. So I guarantee you, being a former K9 unit myself, his partner in there is making his presence give up the idea of running. And so you see here, single CHP officer casually taking him into custody. We have one trooper, one dog. Usually he'll take care of the problem.
Flash those 4 fingers up, meaning code 4, all clear.
Roger.